And the Fox News decision desk can, at long last, begin to call winners and losers in the 2016 presidential race. Our first projection is in Vermont, where Hillary Clinton will easily win that state's 3 electoral votes, according to Fox News exit polls.
Next, we go to Kentucky, where Fox News can project that Donald Trump will prevail, picking up 8 electoral votes. Trump will also win Indiana, where his running mate, Mike Pence, of course, serves as governor, based on the Fox exit polls and the early returns.
In Virginia, where Hillary Clinton's running mate, Tim Kaine, serves as that state's junior senator, she has a lead right now over Trump, although it is too early to project a winner there.
It's also too early to say who will win Georgia, to Chris Wallace's point, and South Carolina, 2 tightly contested states that Trump must clinch if he's to have a plausible path to the White House. And if you look at some of these states, the reason why we can call a lot of them early is because so many people have voted early in 39 states around the country. So basically, these states push a button, you get the early raw vote total, and then you get the exit polls, and our decision desk can kind of extrapolate from both of those.
Does it mean anything that states like South Carolina and Georgia are too close to call right now?
I'm astonished, particularly about South Carolina.
7:30 p.m. on the East Coast, and polls have just closed in 3 more states, representing another 38 electoral votes. Fox News can project that Donald Trump will win West Virginia by a wide margin, based on Fox exit polls. There's some cheering outside, maybe some. Is that Chris Stirewalt's family? I don't know.
Okay. Fox News can also report that Hillary Clinton has a lead in North Carolina, although it is too early to declare a winner in this key swing state. It is also too early to declare a winner in the bellwether state of Ohio, where Trump had led Clinton in pre-election polls for the last 3 weeks.
Speaking of the Buckeye State, Fox News can project now that Ohio Senator Rob Portman, a Republican, will win re-election by defeating former Ohio Governor Ted Strickland, the Democrat. It's too early to project a winner in the North Carolina Senate race, where Richard Burr, the Republican, is trying to fend off a challenge from Democrat Deborah Ross. That race is very tight. We can call South Carolina for Donald Trump right now. The decision desk calling South Carolina for Donald Trump, and that puts it into his column as well. It's 8 o'clock in the East. Fox News can now project that Republican Donald Trump will win Missouri based on exit polls. He will also win Mississippi, Oklahoma, and Tennessee, according to the Fox News decision team.
You can hear the people in the crowd outside of the Fox News channel cheering at some of these results. Meantime, Democrat Hillary Clinton will easily win her home state of Illinois, according to exit polls. Mrs. Clinton is also performing strongly on the East Coast, where Fox projects she will win New Jersey, Massachusetts, Maryland, Delaware, and the District of Columbia.
In Maine, one of the 2 states that does not use a winner-take-all system of awarding electoral votes, Fox can now project that Clinton is ahead, although it's too early to make a projection in that state. Based on Fox exit polls, it's too early to project the winner also in Pennsylvania, although Clinton is said to be leading there.
Watching that one very closely. Polls have also closed in 2 other important states that we are not yet ready to call, Florida and New Hampshire. The Sunshine State represents a whopping 29 electoral votes, while the Granite State represents just 4, and yet both are crucial to these candidates, especially Donald Trump.
Exactly. We can make another call. The Fox News decision desk can call the state of Rhode Island for Hillary Clinton. And as you see on your screen, the electoral votes will tick up throughout the night. We're going to move those electoral votes. Right now, 68 to 67. And it's also obviously on the bottom of your screen. Rhode Island, not a shocker, because that's expected to be a Democratic stronghold.
And 270 is the magic number. People may know that by now, but they may have forgotten. 270 is what they need to get to become president. A lot of these that we've called so far have been baked in, and we haven't had any surprises in the Electoral College so far on either side, but the night is still young. It's 8:30 p.m. here in New York City. The polls have now closed in the state of Arkansas, and it is too early for the Fox News decision desk to project whether Donald Trump will win Arkansas, where Hillary Clinton served as First Lady for 12 years. Of course, the Clintons have a long history in that state. Also, Fox News can now project that Donald Trump will win Alabama's 9 electoral votes, according to our Fox News exit polls and partial vote returns. And it is 9 o'clock here in New York, and polls have just closed in 14 more states, representing another 156 electoral votes. Fox News can now project that Hillary Clinton will win her adopted home state of New York based on Fox exit polls. Fox can also project that Donald Trump will win the states of Kansas, North Dakota, South Dakota, Texas, and Wyoming.
In Nebraska, one of just 2 states, along with Maine, that does not use a winner-take-all system of awarding delegates, Fox News can project that Donald Trump will win 4 electoral votes. It's too early to say who will win Nebraska's 2nd congressional district, which represents that state's 5th and final electoral vote. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton is ahead in New Mexico, although we don't yet know whether she will prevail there, which is really interesting because Donald Trump visited New Mexico in the final days of this campaign, a blue state.
Clearly, they saw something in their internal polling that the rest of us may not have seen in the public polling. It's also too early to project winners in perhaps the 2 most important battleground states of the hour, Arizona and Colorado. Trump has been counting on Arizona's 11 electoral votes to keep his presidential prospects alive. That was part of the Romney coalition. While Mrs. Clinton hopes that Colorado's 9 electoral votes will help cement her path to the White House.
And just now, a Colorado judge has rejected extending voting after a computer glitch there. So we're following that.
And this just in, ready to make another call now. The Fox News decision desk is projecting that Donald Trump has won the state of Arkansas in the presidential contest. This, of course, a state of which Bill Clinton was governor for a number of years. First Lady Hillary Clinton out of Arkansas for 12 years as well. And this state typically votes Republican and has done so again tonight with Donald Trump.
So as you look at our electoral votes, they'll be tallying up throughout the night on the bottom of your screen as well as throughout. We'll be ticking to 270. That's what you need to win the presidency of the United States. And there you see it, 97 to 139 for Donald Trump. Another call to make. The Fox News decision desk can call the Connecticut presidential race for Hillary Clinton tonight. Not a surprise there, but Hillary Clinton picks up those 7 electoral votes, so that adds to her column now at 104 to 139.
Because we are able to make an important call tonight, and that is the Fox News decision desk is now projecting that Hillary Clinton has won the state of New Mexico over Donald Trump.
It's 5 electoral votes, but Donald Trump, we can project, wins the state of Louisiana. And it's 8 electoral votes, so our tally goes to 147 for Trump and 109 for Hillary Clinton.
There was a little play in New Mexico. It wasn't completely a foregone conclusion.
He was there.
Am I right that
there.
there's not that so far we haven't called a single swing state even now?
That's right.
That's the first one.
If you want to count New Mexico,
New Mexico
that's
is a swing state. I mean,
Well,
if you want to
sort
call
of.
that.
Yeah, but it wasn't really in play.
He visited there, but you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. The Fox News decision desk can make a call now in the state of Virginia. We can call Virginia for Hillary Clinton now. We couldn't for some time, but tonight we can say that the Commonwealth, I should say, of Virginia will go to Hillary Clinton. Again, that Northern Virginia area where there are a lot of Democratic votes coming in late here, and now Hillary Clinton gets the state of Virginia, the Commonwealth rather, and now she has 122 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 147.
That's got to come as a huge relief, Britt Hume, to
Yeah, I would
Clinton.
think. Yeah, I would think so. Although, I mean, when you look at where he traveled at the end and the states he was trying to put in play, there wasn't a big effort in Virginia. I think and Virginia had been thought to be gone for some weeks now.
After Comey, he went back down there.
Yeah, he did. He made one foray, but this is not. I don't think any of our decision desk people would count this as a surprise.
It is 10 p.m. on the East Coast, and polls have now closed in 4 more states, including several of the most important battlegrounds in the nation. But first, let's start with Montana, where Fox News can project that Donald Trump will win that state's 3 electoral votes. Trump is also ahead in Utah, that we just mentioned, although it's too early to project whether he will beat not just Hillary Clinton, but also, as we mentioned, independent candidate Evan McMullin, a conservative Mormon whose best and perhaps only prospect for winning a state tonight is in Utah. By the way, the last time a presidential candidate who was not from a major party won an electoral vote was 1968, when George Wallace carried 5 southern states.
But the real battlegrounds at this hour are in the absolutely crucial states of Iowa and Nevada, each of which represent 6 electoral votes. Although Donald Trump enjoyed small leads in both states and the Real Clear Politics average of pre-election polls, it's still too early to project. This is Fox News Election Alert. We have a big call to make tonight, and that is that the Fox News decision desk is projecting Hillary Clinton will win the swing state of Colorado tonight. Colorado going blue, according to the Fox News decision desk. That's significant, as both campaigns had worked hard for Colorado voters, but Hillary Clinton managing to pull out a win in that state as we continue to await so many of the other critical swing states.
As you were talking, a critical swing state has been called by the Fox News decision desk. Ohio will be Donald Trump's category. A victory for Donald Trump in Ohio can be called by the Fox News decision desk at this point. That is 18 electoral votes. No Republican has won the White House without winning the state of Ohio. Donald Trump, the GOP nominee, has just won the state of Ohio. So now you have the electoral votes at 168 electoral votes for Donald Trump, 131 for Hillary Clinton. He still has some work to do, as we mentioned, about winning blue states in that blue wall. But he is on his way. We have not called Florida yet.
Need 270 to win, so he's got to get another 102 states. Decision desk is now projecting that the Republicans will hold control of the U.S. House. This is not a huge surprise. We understood that that would happen. They've lost some seats. They currently enjoy a 59-seat advantage over the Democrats in the House, which means the Democrats would have had to net 30, a gain of 30 seats. They have not managed to do it, and they will not manage to do it. They're projecting that they'll probably gain between 10 and 20 seats, falling short of majority control. So the Republicans have control of the lower chamber going forward. We know that. Fox News Election Alert for you now. We are waiting on several critical states. We have already called Ohio for Donald Trump, as we brought to you moments ago. We are about to make a major call. Fox News decision desk is now projecting that Donald Trump has won the state of North Carolina. And that is huge for Donald Trump. This is exactly what he needed to do. Win Ohio, win North Carolina. Florida's part of it, and then pick off a blue. That's what he's trying to do. Welcome back, everybody. We are moments away now from another round of poll closings, just about a minute out from being able to make some calls, this time in 5 states with 82 electoral votes up for grabs. And the biggest prize of all is California with 55. It hasn't really been in contention. This is, Trump and Clinton had both said they were going to win places like California and New York and New Jersey and so on. They never really moved out of the presumed Democrat column. But we also have a big call to make now.
A big call right now. Donald Trump will win the state of Florida. According to the Fox News decision desk, he will win the 29 electoral votes in Florida. A very tight race, but he is pulling that off. As you can see, the crowds outside here cheering. 49% to 47% right now, but we can project that he is going to win Florida. That means he has won Florida, North Carolina, and Ohio. This is the triple states that he needed to win to make the path possible. And as you just saw, Megan, upstairs, it's very possible as of this moment.
If you need the inside straight, he is well on his way, although it's not yet over. It is 11 o'clock here in New York City. Polls have just closed in 5 more states, representing another 82 electoral votes, most of which will go to Hillary Clinton. Fox News can now project that Clinton will win California's 55 electoral votes, the largest single batch in the country. Our Fox decision desk also projects that Mrs. Clinton will win the states of Washington and Hawaii, which collectively represent another 16 electoral votes.
On the Republican side, Donald Trump will win Idaho's 4 electoral votes based on Fox News exit polls. That leaves Oregon, which votes entirely by mail. So we'll have to wait a bit longer to determine who will win that state's 7 electoral votes. But
Fox News is ready to make a projection on the state of Utah, projecting that Donald Trump will win the state of Utah, which has been very contested. Evan McMullin, a third party, a Mormon in Utah, gave Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton a run for their money out there. And that was very much in question, whereas it's almost always gone Republican. But this year around, there was a question about it, and Utah has now gone for Trump.
6 electoral votes puts us up to 222.
48.
I got you. I'm there. I have the calculator
I got your
now.
back, buddy.
All right, thank you.
For what it's worth, that is all still part of the base plan of getting the Romney states, plus getting Ohio, getting Florida, and getting
he
253,
had
and
to
then
have
adding
Utah,
17
right.
somehow after
Just
that.
to pick up on.
Welcome back. Now a call from the Fox News decision desk. Hillary Clinton will win the state of Oregon. Not a surprise there, but it goes to the Democrats' column, and that adds to her electoral votes. They finally got those mail-in ballots in. I think.
All the drama's gone.
The drama's gone.
The drama's not gone, however, in the overall race. Hold on.
Stand by.
There's a big old call to make right now, and that is Fox News is projecting that Donald Trump has won the state of Wisconsin. Donald Trump has won the state of Wisconsin, and there goes her blue wall. That's 10 electoral votes. That brings Trump up to 232, and he has officially pierced the blue wall that she needed to hold on to, which is momentous. Wisconsin was barely in play.
Once we saw Ron Johnson win that Senate race, we knew Wisconsin was going to be a different picture. But Donald Trump, at 232 electoral votes, is now 38 electoral votes away from winning the presidency of the United States of America.
Do we have Dana's mic on? She's trying to make a point.
Trying to make a point? Oh, can you hear me
There
now?
you go.
Okay, so Scott Walker, the governor of Wisconsin, he has fought back 2 recounts of him. He has won re-election. He came out for Trump after being very reluctant, came back for him in a really big way, crisscrossed that state with Paul Ryan, and they were able to get Ron Johnson and Donald Trump, all those voters to turn out for him. I think that is absolutely momentous, and a big revolution is underway.
Just to pick up on what Greg was saying before the break, and Michael Moore, who knows white working class voters, has made movies about them, grew up in Michigan. This is basically what he said. Now, he's not a Trump fan. He basically said, you're going to blow up the system and you're going to be sorry about it. But the point he was making before he got to the end was, I actually have the quote here, Joe Blow, Steve Blow, Bob Blow, all the blows get to go and blow up the whole G-damn system, because that's your right. Trump's election is going to be the biggest FU ever recorded in human history.
Right.
And it will feel good. And then he said, for a day, and he predicted doom and gloom after that. But he understands this group of people, this group of voters, Kimberly.
Yes.
And had been saying all along to the Democrats, dismiss him at your own peril.
You're right, and he started saying on your show as well.
Oh,
when you had
stand
him.
by.
Okay, we get another one?
Fox
Another,
News
a big
can
one.
now project that Iowa will go to Donald Trump. 6 electoral votes for Donald Trump. Iowa, the state of Iowa. He has turned the state of Iowa to Donald Trump. This is...
Can I
Go
tell
ahead,
you what
Eric
this is? This is, if Donald Trump holds the rest of the Romney states and he's projected to win, that's 269, which gives him the victory, assuming the House votes for him versus Hillary Clinton. He needed 16 between Michigan or Wisconsin, plus Iowa. Iowa's 6, Michigan and Wisconsin are 10 each. There's your 16, folks. I mean, you're watching history being made.
Security that he made a promise early on. He'll definitely keep it.
Stand by. We have another call to make. Fox News Decision Desk is now projecting that Donald Trump has won the state of Georgia, which is also important. It wasn't, this again is part of the Romney coalition, so he needed to win this. This is part of the assumption to that 253, but an important one to him, and it has gone red. And
it did take a long
failed to
time to
flip
get
it.
there, but she did not flip it.
Okay, so the Fox News Decision Desk is now ready to call Nevada. They are calling Nevada for Hillary Clinton, and its 6 electoral votes will go in the Clinton category. Not a huge surprise, but that was a swing state for which they had both played. And want to tell you this, too, as we look at the markets. As of, well, 12:08, which is the last we looked, the Dow was down 833 points. The NASDAQ and S&P 500 futures were down so low they halted them until the market opens tomorrow morning.
We'll try and figure that out for you.
We are making a call now. The Fox News Decision Desk is calling Maine, the state of Maine, for Hillary Clinton. But this is 3 out of the 4 available electoral votes there. We have not called the 2nd congressional district in Maine. Maine is one of 2 states, along with Nebraska, that splits up its electoral votes. So now you have Maine, +3 for Hillary Clinton, with 1 still remaining out there.
Yeah.
We like to reminisce here. We love to go back down old memory lanes. So I'm actually going to take a walk to the decision desk and find out what's the deal with Michigan, what's the deal with Minnesota. It was so fun the last time, so we're just going to, but, you know, stakes are different this time.
Tell them I missed them.
We haven't called the election. We're actually just finding out why we haven't called the election, why we haven't called a couple of these key states. And it's a much shorter walk, thanks to our new studio. Here we are. Here they are. Here's all our guys. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Arnon Mishkin, the man of the hour. How you doing?
Terrific, Megan. How are you?
We meet again.
Yes.
All right, so what's the deal? First of all, let's just talk about Michigan. What's the deal with Michigan? Why can't you call it?
Right now, we're still waiting on some vote from Detroit and other places, and so even though clearly Trump has a lead, we're not prepared to call it yet.
Because Detroit is considered heavily Democratic.
Democratic area, yes.
So what do you need to see? What the turnout there was, or what?
We need to see the turnout, and most important, we need to understand what the absentee vote is. Because the absentee vote tends to be counted in bizarre ways, county by county, and so we're waiting to see what that vote is like before we can make a call in Michigan.
Any idea what time that will be? It's 1:10 in the morning. Any idea, like, seriously, do they tell you what the timing would be?
What they tell us is soon, and soon could mean anything.
That's not helpful.
I know.
All right, forget Michigan. Let's move on to Minnesota. 10 electoral votes there. That could get them much closer. What's the deal there?
Minnesota, we're also waiting for a lot of vote in the Twin Cities area, which also tends to be Democratic. There does seem to be, Hillary seems to have a slight lead in Minnesota, but it's a very tenuous lead. And when we look at the models, it looks like it's going to be a very close night there.
Wow. Which, again, I mean, most people were not predicting. Minnesota was not supposed to be.
Not at all.
It wasn't considered a toss-up, really.
Not at all.
Okay, Arizona. Why haven't we called that?
Arizona has begun counting vote in a slightly different way. There's a lot of vote that doesn't get counted on Election Day. So it's not clear we're going to be able to make a call in Arizona tonight, but we're going to try.
Pennsylvania. That's the mother lode. If Trump gets that, he's got it.
That's right. Pennsylvania also looks like it's ending up going to be a very close night in Pennsylvania. I wouldn't be surprised if we're not able to call Pennsylvania tonight.
If we're not able to call it at all.
Very possible, yes.
How about Maine's congressional district, second congressional district? Man, they've gotten so much airtime this election.
That's exactly right. This is the district in outstate Maine, the northern part of Maine. Right now, Trump has a lead in the raw vote, but I think it's only about 50% of the vote has been counted there. And so we don't have a model for Maine CD2, but we do have it. It looks like Trump may get that one electoral vote, but we're not ready to call that
What
yet.
am I missing? Which one am I forgetting?
The most interesting one you're missing is Alaska. And
Really?
Precisely. Alaska has 3 electoral votes. Historically, Alaska has always gone Republican. Right now, we're looking at conflicting data from Alaska, and Alaska is another state that tends to count vote extremely slowly. And so that's another state that we could be hanging on for a couple of days.
How about New Hampshire and its 4 electoral votes?
New Hampshire.
Joe Trippi is obsessed with New Hampshire. He wants me to ask.
As he should be. New Hampshire is a state that we could very easily also not be calling tonight.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry.
Should we dock their pay? Is there like, all right, so let me ask you this. You guys they all sit back here, they crunch the numbers, they talk, they compare notes. What explains what we have seen tonight? Do you look at that? Do you look at any of the exit data, or is that all Dana Blanton? But can you help us understand what people misread?
That's a really good question. People are going to be poring over the data for months and possibly years to figure out what really happened. I think what basically happened was in the final polling, we saw that Clinton had roughly a 4-point lead in most of the polls. She was at about 48%, 49%. The question was, what happened to all the folks who were on what I call the movables, folks who said they were either for Johnson, Stein, or were purely undecided? And they ranged from 8 to 10 to 12%, depending on the poll you were looking at. And I think what happened was a lot of those people, they said they weren't for Hillary Clinton, and they weren't. And in the end, they decided to go for Trump. That's my hypothesis of what the polling, it was a misreading of the polling rather than a mistake of the polls.
I'm not going to hold you to this because I know you're crunching numbers in counties and raw vote and things like that now, but do you have a feel on the late deciders? Do you have a feel on whether it really was a late-breaking vote for Trump or whether this was baked in, these late deciders, these people you're talking about, was it the last few days or when was it?
What we saw in the exit poll is that there was some late decided movement towards Trump, but I think what it is evidence that they were basically sort of decided, but they didn't want to say. And then in the end, they went for Trump.
So is what you're saying that the shy Trump voter really was out there?
I guess so. Yep.
It doesn't seem
Did I
possible
answer
that you can be a shy Trump voter, right?
No,
Like,
I-
what we know of the Trump voters is they are not shy. They are not shy.
Exactly, and that's the big difference between this general election and what we were seeing all year in the primaries. All year in the primaries, the Trump number from the polling was exactly the Trump number that he got in the primary. And all the undecided went away from Trump. This time we're seeing that a lot of that undecided, in fact, wound up being a Trump vote.
All right, last question. What of the states that are still out there?
Oh, and one more thing.
Yeah, go.
The other thing to note is that right now Clinton is ahead in the popular vote, and that was something actually a lot of analysts understood, that in fact a Democratic lead of 3 or 4% translated into an electoral college photo finish, which is what we're seeing right now, that basically Democrats run up the score in states like California, New York, Illinois, and roughly 3% of the vote is wasted by Democrats in those states. That's just the way the Continental Congress decided it, and it's wasted in those states. And so even though you might have a 3% lead in the popular vote, that could translate into an electoral college photo finish.
All right, so I actually have 2 more questions. Number 1 is, does she have any chance left?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Okay, all right. I had to try. Number 2 is, what is the state you guys think you're most likely to call next? I realize you don't know. Which one are we most likely to get next?
We're looking at a number of states that we could possibly call very quick.
Does it begin with an M?
You're a very good interviewer.
You're not going to tell me?
No, not yet.
Arnon, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, all of you guys. You guys are unsung heroes here at Fox News and all the work you do. You too, Kath. All of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Honored to work with these guys.
We are going to make this decision now. The Fox News decision desk has called Pennsylvania for Donald Trump. This means that Donald Trump will be the 45th president of the United States, winning the most unreal, surreal election we have ever seen. This candidacy starting on an escalator ride 1 year ago and going down against 16 Republican candidates. What started off as unlikely, impossible, is now reality. He said he was always a winner. This did not come without controversy. The billionaire, entrepreneur, TV reality star has defeated the candidate once figured to be undefeatable, besting Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in an electoral college victory that virtually no one saw coming a year ago, a few months ago,
A week
even
ago.
a month ago, even yesterday, and a path to victory that was unlike anything we've ever seen. It did not come without controversy. It did not come without splitting this country in some of the most divisive language. It does come now at a time where his supporters say this is the evidence that Washington was not working. They wanted to kick over the table and do something different.
You know, he told me once that he had a conversation with Melania when he was considering running about whether he should do it. And she looked at him and said, you know, if you do it, you're going to win. Right. And he, you know, he understood that as well. And there have been moments over the course of the campaign where it's been tough on both of them. Melania, too.